I need your opinion on this because I've never actually decided this. So my first song, I wanted to call it like Carrion or Carry On. So you know how like carrion is like crows, birds of prey eat carrion, which is like one of the lines I kind of hint at. I don't say carrion, I just say. But I talk about carry on, and so I'm like, is it smart to call it carrion or people not know what that is? Carry on just feels like such a generic like. But then if I'm like, that's my song Carrion, people will be like, Karen? I should probably just call it like Raincoat or something, but that's it. I like to play on words, but I also don't, let me just Google how to pronounce it. It's probably French.
Carrion.
I was right. Wait.
Carrion.
Carrion. There you go.
You have to introduce it like that every time.
This is my song.
Carrion.
Carrion. Are you recording? Yeah, I was recording the whole time. I'm so stupid. So my name is Laurs, or Laura, but music name. Like, well, do I just say my music name? I'm so bad at this. My name is Laurs, and I started writing songs as a very young kid. I think because I just had too many words to say. My parents and my family were sick of listening to me, so I started writing songs. And ever since then, I thankfully have gotten better at writing them, I think. But yeah, I've just kept going, kept writing them. A lot of my older siblings like play instruments, and I just come from a really fun family where like everyone just gives things a go. So there was no like, oh, what if you're bad at it? It was like, oh, just do it. So I think that probably really helped because I was very bad when I started. I think that I wrote songs and performed for a long time, but actually releasing something was really scary because it felt like it was real, whereas writing songs in my room has been very easy. I think I probably still struggle with this, to be honest. I didn't like the idea of being perceived by something so small and limiting. Like, I didn't want to release 2 songs and people be like, oh, that's how she feels about everything, and that's her, you know? I feel like a lot of artists, we're so much more than just 1 or 2 of our songs. And so it's scary to release something and know people will like have their own interpretations and be like, oh, that's who she is. So I guess like not really caring and like letting my song be other people's as well. Like it'll mean things to other people. It'll be special in other ways to other people, and that's okay. Like getting over that. You just have to do it, you know? Stealing Nike's slogan. It's actually kind of embarrassing. I was 17 and I applied for a festival, which I'm actually playing in a couple months, which is really good. But I applied and I did not get in, and I look back at the application I sent and I can understand why. It was really bad, but I got this email one day, and yeah, it was this dude being like, hi, sorry if this is weird, but I really like your songwriting and I'd love to make music with you if you want. And I freaked out because until that point I'd never even imagined having like songs released or doing anything. I just like, it was such a like in my room thing. And then I hung out with him one time and I realized that like he has the same brain as me, but just like 10 times older, wiser and cooler. And so yeah, Aaron's been amazing because him and his wife and his 2 girls now, I just feel like they're family. So it's cool making music with someone who you can trust in like a lot of ways and that know you as a person, whereas instead of treating it like a business hustle, it's like it's just like a part of my life. So I feel very, very honored and very lucky to have that, for sure. I think allowing things to not be perfect all the time. I used to like throw out a lot of the songs I was writing when I'd write them because I was like, no, it's not good enough. And I think like learning that creativity is best when you just like let all the ideas happen and you write ideas down even if they're bad and you just keep them and then come back to them later, like not over editing and over fixing things as you have the idea. Because like, yeah, when a kid is like drawing a picture, you're not like, oh, you shouldn't have used that color, you should have used a slightly different red shade crayon, you know what I mean? My ideas are kind of the same. When they're first like on paper, they might not make like so much sense, but I know that there's something there. So I think, yeah, just letting things be bad and then working it out has helped a lot. My favorite part of making music, probably when I stumble across something that I feel like, oh, this is kind of fun. I write a lot of lyrics that are very everyday stuff, like, oh, your shoes or your clothing line, or like all those like sort of language. And I think that it's really fun. Sorry, that was really bad English. I just think it's really fun, like when you can tie everyday things of life into like something that means more. So definitely the songwriting process with people or by myself. I definitely want to collaborate more in the future, but I also work full time, so it's kind of tricky. But I'm also very spontaneous, so if anyone ever reaches out, I'm always like, oh, let's just give it a go. I think that I try not to put too much pressure on like oh, it's going to be perfect. Like, if it doesn't click, it doesn't click, but sometimes it really does. So I love working with other people because everyone brings such a cool perspective to things and like such a different way of looking at it that it's really valuable to me. Yeah, so at the moment I'm working full-time as a music and events coordinator at New Zealand's largest youth centre, Shore Junction, which is really fun, just doing some PR for them. And it's been really cool because I actually started going there when I was 17 to make music and like record and meet other musicians. And so it's cool now I kind of get to do that for the 17-year-olds coming in now. And it's really special kind of reminding myself of like where I've come from. I think it's very easy for artists to just always look ahead at like, I haven't reached this milestone, I need this or this or this. And whenever I meet like the 17-year-olds I work with who are just playing their first gig or writing their first few songs, I really remember like the original dream is just to like do stuff and make music. So yeah, I work for a youth centre and I would recommend it to anyone. Yeah, it's definitely tricky to balance my time. I do not put enough time into music at all. And I found that really hard with like full-time work. But at the same time, I think it's really cool to be inspired by the mundane things. Like, I feel most inspired to write songs when I'm driving and like driving to and fro work. And I think that for a lot of artists, we have to be able to create in like any circumstances or like not get writer's block even if life is kind of boring. So it's been a really good challenge at the same time to like stretch those muscles because yeah, now I do work full-time, but I just have to work harder at like finding time and like valuing music, you know, so it's cool. So I feel like I'm just sounding so generic. The advice I'd give to someone wanting to start writing their own songs is just open your eyes, literally. Like, don't sit in your room for 4 hours trying to write a song. Like, go to an art gallery, go to like a thrift store, go to your favorite like Chinese food takeaway place, and just live like life. Because I think that when you try like be really, really internal about your songwriting, which works for some people, it just doesn't work for me. Everything starts to sound the same. But when you're inspired by like that conversation you had with friends over nachos or like the sunrise at the beach that, you know, you swam and it was freezing cold, like those sorts of things are like the things that make life exciting. And so to me, it's what makes songwriting exciting as well. So just like fill up a store bag of like memories and experiences and like be present, because when you're present, you're aware of like, that like my mom looked kind of tired today, or my friend seemed sad, or I loved this, and you notice it more because you're like aware. So this is a very long-winded answer, but just be present and you'll actually find songwriting a bit easier. And then yeah, write down everything and anything, and things don't have to be full songs or like perfect at the beginning. Just like don't throw them away, because in a month's time you might work it out and be like, oh, actually I'll use the bridge from that, everything else sucks, I'll use the bridge. But yeah, don't over edit your first things. Just like let it happen, let it be bad, and then it might be gold, you know. Give yourself space from your creativity as well, because if you freak out about it too much and focus on it too much, you do start to hate it. So you just have to like step back a bit. There's a girl, she's living in Wellington now, and her name's Marianne Wren, and I just remember the first time I ever saw her play live, I was like, I want to do that. She had some of her mates playing in a band, and I was just like, she's so cool, and she's just like singing stuff her way, doing music her way, and it was really inspiring. So I'd recommend her music. She's really talented, she's really cool. Oh man, I hope I'll message her and be like, please. I also, another Kiwi band, the Macho Ache, I think they're the coolest. Like I've got their sticker on my guitar case. I just think they're so fun. They're a bunch of teachers, I think, and yeah, they are living like the full-time grind, but they also do music and they make it work. And I think that it's cool for me to see, because it's very easy to like wish I was touring full-time or like writing with other people full-time, but the realistic thing is I need to earn money. Like I need to like pay for food. So it's cool to see other musicians in New Zealand who are like working really hard and doing music, and just liking it for what it is, you know. A dream project for me would have to be working on music for a film. I love movies so much. One of my mates does as well. We always talk about, like this song would be perfect in this scene, or so yeah, if I ever get the opportunity to like work on songs, even like in a very like behind the scenes way, for a movie, I would just be over the moon, because I think that music is most beautiful when it's tied with other things. And so like when it's tied with people or art or like film, I think it's so special. So that would be a dream project for sure. Do I journal? No. A lot of people think I would. I just write everything in my phone notes. It's kind of embarrassing. You could scroll for hours. listeners can listen to me. So embarrassing. Why did I say that way? I have an EP coming out soon. It's taken a very long time, and I feel very bad for everyone who's been asking me for it. But sometimes things take a long time. Great English again. Sometimes things take a long time, and I've had to get over that. And I think the biggest struggle with my EP is that I thought the longer I take to release it, the more people would expect of it, and it was piling this pressure on. I actually had one song, all I had to do was harmonies for it, and I didn't send them to my producer for 6 months because I just felt this massive pressure of when this is out, everyone's gonna be it's not what I thought it was. It will be called Little. My EP Little will be out soon. My name is Laurs, and you can find me on Spotify as Laurs. And if you can't spell it, it's Laurs. Yeah, that's me. I should probably have ended that as awkwardly as I did. I was let me just do an office and look at the camera. Or yeah, no, literally.